Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the 2019 mod with the 2020 car set. And as you can see, we are here at the Richmond night race. And even though it's in the day, 2K3 comes with nights, so that's what we're running. Brandon is there on the inside in that wreckingandracing.com podcast Toyota. We're on the outside line. Green flag is out for 40 wonderful laps here at Richmond and very tight quarters, but we are going for our third win in a row. But Brandon gets down to the inside and takes the lead on the start. These AI cars are very slow on the get-go, it seems, when it comes to restarts. So we'll try to get down to the bottom. That is certainly the preferred groove. We're really loose up top, and we're going to try to get to the bottom here behind Kurt Busch. The 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is pressuring us from behind. There goes the 43 of Bubba Wallace to the inside as well, and we're trying to roll as much as we can here. If we can complete the pass on Bubba, indeed we can, we'll get down to the inside and line up right behind the one car of Kurt Busch. Bubba gets into our rear bumper just a bit. We wash up just a skosh, but keep the car under us and accelerate down. So Brandon up front, Logano in second, Eric Almirola third, Austin Dillon in fourth, trying to get that bite off the bottom of turn 2. Stenhouse is still there just by a bit. We'll clear him going into turn 3. And set up nicely under the one of Kurt Busch. There will be a pit stop this race, so we're just going to ride and see what happens here. See if we can split the race in 20 and 20. Probably 4 tires are going to be the way to go for this particular race. Being a short track, really slidey, really abrasive, we're going to need all of those tires that we can get, especially for the drive off. As you can see, we have decent drive off under the 88 of Alex Bowman. Will get back up in line for a nice smoother approach into turn 1. Turn 1 very quick, quirky. The car wants to slide out from under you, really loose under braking. You can try to keep the front loaded up a little bit with brake, but too much brake and that rear end is going to want to slide right around. But we'll complete the pass on Chase Elliott, looking forward to his other Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Jimmy Johnson right in front of us, and Tyler Reddick continuing his solid year here in the top 10. Very good to see for the rookie. Don't know if he would have this kind of success if we were actually still racing in the real world, so it'll be interesting to see if Richard Childress Racing has anything for these guys from the mini off season, I guess you could say. We are off though, sliding into turn 1 really loose, and we could not get a good turn, so we lose a little bit of ground off the corner, and Joey Logano putting pressure on Brandon for the lead. It's not a runaway just yet. Cars behind us are starting to fall back and single file in. We can take advantage of these cars running side by side right in front of us as best we can. Truex Jr. there on the high side of Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch in front of him, and Logano is giving Brandon everything he can handle up there, trying to get that nose to the inside. As long as we can continue the good bite off of turn 4 and speed down the front straightaway, will be okay. Brandon washes up, put Joey Logano to the lead. Brandon back to second, Eric Almirola third, and I'm not sure, but I think Brandon got into the wall just a little bit. Now Brandon's sort of at a disadvantage when he upgraded his racing PC for iRacing. 2K3 no longer works, so he's racing on a different rig for these particular races, so it may take some time for Brandon to get his groove back and adapt to the new setup. Oh, Kyle. Okay, into Kyle just a little bit. Car got really out of shape. We'll maintain that spot, but that bad entry washes up off the bottom. Tyler Reddick looking to the inside. Thankfully, we can put the power down and clear him. So sitting in the top 5, definitely not bad, making forward momentum. I think myself and Brandon have the most spots gained for the race, which is very, very good indeed. And we're going to settle in here as best we can before pit stops begin. Brandon looking to the inside for the lead, drops back in line behind Logano, thinks better of it. Dillon on the back bumper of Almirola, though. I don't know if he's going to glance to the inside. We're going to have to see if Austin is feeling froggy and will leap down to the bottom. If he stays in line, we'll get a nose on Austin. He'll give us the bottom lane. see if we can get that drive off the corner. Austin gets a little bit better bite, settle back in line. With everyone running pretty close lap times, it comes down to who just gets on the gas the earliest, and not a good series of corners for us there. We can't really set up behind Austin. We'll get to the bottom and see if we can get that drive off, sort of dime in the middle a bit, get the power down, and we're in a good spot here, a little bit into Austin. See if we can get a twofer here under Eric Almirola as well. And that is a twofer going into turn one. Austin takes advantage down to the inside of Eric Almirola for third. Fourth. Yeah, that's right, we're third. Brandon going for the lead under Joey Logano. And Brandon will complete that pass off the corner, it seems. So Brandon back up front. Logano second. We're in third. Eric Almirola fourth. And it looks like Austin Dillon rounds out your top five. And we are gaining on Logano bit by bit, which is encouraging to see. We don't want to misuse the tires as much as we can. Try to take care of them, make sure we hit our marks as best we can. I believe we are faster, especially off of turn four. Brandon is running the same setup that we are, so his drive off of turn four is equally as good. So we can sort of abuse the AI a little bit off of turn four. But when it comes to myself and Brandon, we're pretty even Steven on the setup. Looking down at the inside, good bite, clip the apron just a bit, de-wedge the car, get it to turn just a smidge more as this tire wear builds up and the car gets tighter and tighter. Looking to the outside, I think we can cut down to the bottom here and get on the inside of Logano in turn three. And there we go, inside Logano. We should be able to clear him off of turn four if everything goes well and no pressure behind. Logano puts up a fight, but we will be able to get out to the wall and get a good arc into turn one. And now it is just ourselves and Brandon, first and second. And Logano dropping back a bit. I believe the AI may be having some tire wear that is affecting them. Brandon drove a little bit harder into turn three than we did. If we can get good bite off of four, we'll be able to close that gap just a skosh. Looks like pretty even as far as those lap times are concerned. We drove a little bit too much into turn one and two, clipped the apron just a bit, maintains that gap. And a much better turn three for us, but Brandon didn't wash up that time. I think we got him by a tenth or two that particular lap, and as lap traffic comes back to us, Brandon's going to have to fight amongst these lappers. The 00 of Quinn Houff is the first to be one lap down, followed by the 15. So we'll maintain this pace, no pressure from behind. We'll do what we can here. See if we can gain any sort of semblance of gain on Brandon. Yeah, that was a good turn one for us there. We drove in just a little bit harder. It's all about that exit. Brandon out to the wall just a bit, goes under the 00. He will complete that pass easily under Quinn Houff. He'll be able to get back to the gas hard. We'll have to roll out just a little bit. That'll hurt our straightaway speed just a touch. And that 00 is going to drop back into Joey Logano, who is dropped completely out of our mirror. And Brandon makes the quick pass under the 15. We'll try to follow him through. But once again, Brandon caught him at the best possible place. He gets to put that power down and out to the wall he can go. We have to short the corner a bit and complete that pass on the 15. But that exchange with lap cars did get us pretty close to Brandon. We hit turn one and two really well there. Brandon got loose off of turn two, tried to put the power down a little bit too enthusiastically, got the rear end sliding. So we're within striking distance now. We'll see if we can get him. Whoa, Brandon really out of shape off of turn four. He's trying to put the power down and the rear tires are not gripping. We'll take advantage on the inside of turn one and two. He's still out there just a bit. We'll try to get into turn three well. And indeed, Brandon drops back behind us and we can get out to the wall. And we are out front. All right. So 3 in a row is still very much alive at this point, as long as we don't make any mistakes. And of course, one yellow flag can derail this whole thing, as well as those lap cars in front of us. And Brandon seems to be having a handful back there, really power sliding off of turn two. We slid a little bit in turn four right there. It's tough at this point to get the power down. The rear tires are pretty worn out, so we have to be as conservative as we can while maintaining speed. Looks like Christopher Bell in the 95 is the next car that is at risk of going one lap down. We sort of blew turn 3 and 4. The car is starting to get really tight. Although it looks like Brandon is having the opposite issue. The way he's trying to exit the corners, the car is looking really loose on his end. So we're pushing center off really bad. Brandon is really loose off, it seems. All comes down to our different driving style and how we are abusing these tires going forward. And now we have to drive head on a swivel here. The 95 and the 32 of Corey LaJoie, 13 of Ty Dillon next up. Let's see if we can get that drive to the inside, get a twofer here under the 32. And indeed we can get under the 32, clear him off, and out to the wall to set up Ty Dillon. Not much of a fight going into turn 1, thankfully. Daniel Suarez in the 96 next, and then John Hunter Nemechek out in front of him. Brandon almost into Ty Dillon a bit. If Brandon has to go under any lap cars on corner exit, that's pretty treacherous, as loose as his car is off the corner as it is. He'll need the racetrack to sort of catch his car. And no, that was Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell fighting back on the outside. Yellow flag is out, so myself and Brandon will take the yellow flag and probably come down pit road for our service, for tires and fuel, and we will re-rack them up, and I will be right back. Thankfully, there were enough lap cars between Brandon and third place Joey Logano that we have a little bit of a gap down on all of these cars coming to pit road. Right sides are on, going for the left sides. Looks like Chase Elliott slid in his box a little bit. We're going to have to drive around. Let's see if we can get around him here cleanly. Johnson into his stall, and we will be off pit road in second. It looks like Logano got us with that good pit stop, so we will be restarting in second, it looks like. Brandon will be restarting in third. Joey Logano, your leader. Myself and Brandon trying to get some heat in our tires for this restart. We raised our tire temperature about 10 to 15 degrees under these yellow laps, so hopefully that will help us on the restart. Green flag is out, Joey Logano slow, and we're able to put that power down, and as you can see, we got quite the jump on Logano. Brandon easily gets in second place, and it is single file for the restart shootout towards the end. We got a good run off of turn 2, it looks like. Brandon holding station in second. Joey Logano still there within shouting distance, and we are driving as hard as we can now. Tires are good, plenty of fuel in the car. We're going to do what we can here to sort of gap as much as we can. Brandon has cleared Logano by a little bit, so I would say no pressure out the mirror, but anything can happen. One slip up and Brandon will be right there. So we'll have to be definitely honest in the closing laps here. We've left Logano in the dust. Surprisingly, those 4 new tires didn't seem to help out the AI as much as it helped us, for sure. Out to the wall, nice and snug. Feeling pretty good on these 4 tires. We don't have to go as far in this particular run than we did the first time, so we can drive a little bit hard. Brandon has not gone away, however. He is still back there, 4 or 5 car lengths back. That was a good turn 1 for Brandon. We tried to diamond the corner and get the launch off of turn 2 a little bit loose. We didn't gain that much time, but Brandon is right there. He overdrove turn 3 just a bit, washed up the track. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. No lap traffic in the windshield. It's all up to us to decide this. 3 in a row or the 3rd win of the year. Brandon into the wall just a little bit. We'll drive into turn 3, hook the bottom as much as we can. Brandon touched the apron just a little bit, washed up, couldn't get the power down, and that is win number 3 and 3 in a row. So crazy. We were on a losing streak, and thanks to Richmond, we now have 3 wins in a row. Outstanding. There's the yellow. Okay, so what exactly happened? Going through here. Okay, nobody has gotten anything wrong with them there. Oh, there we go. Car in the wall. Looks like Daniel Suarez got the worst of that. Oh, and that was Brandon. Okay. So Suarez going. He's driving along. We clear him. Brandon goes into the turn. And just a little scoot. And Daniel Suarez up into the wall. He was the only one collected, and that brought out our only caution. So let's take a look at the standings after Richmond. We have assumed the point standings lead with 3 wins. Brandon there with 2. Kyle Busch, Harvick, Byron, and Boyer with 1 each. Kurt Busch is your cutoff driver. Stenhouse 1 to the good. Austin Dillon 2 back. And Larson being 50 points ahead. It's going to take a couple races, but unless he can secure himself a cup ride in the real coming weeks, he will drop out of the top 16 in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. But next week is the big wild card Talladega, and it should be an exciting one. But that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next NASCAR Racing 2003 season video. Take care.